Hey guys, it's Thursday again.
5 days of tomfoolery. That's Jessica, Steffi, Kelsey, Shannon, and Amy.
So this week we have to talk about books. And can I just say, first of all, do you like how many books I've brought to show you? Like, seriously. I was searching on the internet, as we all do, and I found a survey, and it's called Tag Playing with Emotions. And you basically just have to, like, answer with a book that makes you feel a certain emotion. So the first question is, what book makes you happy? Now, I have quite a few here, but I would probably say that it's An Abundance of Catherines by John Green's. Mainly just because this book really makes me laugh. If you haven't read it, it's about a boy that dates only people called Catherine, and he uses maths to figure out why. And so yeah, I would really recommend this book. It's really good. What book makes me feel sad is these books. This is the Beautiful Dead series by Eden Maguire, and it's about this girl called Dorina, and her boyfriend dies and becomes an angel, and it has all her friends in it, and she has to find out how they died, otherwise like they can't move on, otherwise they'll be stuck in limbo forever. The book that makes me angry is most definitely this book. Look at it. It makes you feel sick, doesn't it? Yeah, and I actually hate this book so much that after I started watching the Alex Reed's Twilight, I even started like editing it, so it's like, let's see, you've got like little quotations and stuff from Alex. The book that makes me feel nostalgic is probably The Magic Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. I friggin' love these books. I read them all as a child, and there's something about them that I think because they're old, they sort of remind you of being young. Kissed by an Angel is probably the other book that makes me feel nostalgic. This is because this is the first book I ever bought when I was like 12, I think, and I bought it with my own money, and it was a big book, so I was like, oh, I want to read this and prove to everyone that I'm good at reading. This is a great book. This again is sort of an angel story. It's about a girl called Ivy, and her boyfriend dies again, and he's like trying to reach out to her through being an angel, but she can't hear him, and it's quite a sweet love story. This book, I probably read this book so many times when I was a kid. This book is about Lady Jane Grey, who was a princess, I think, and it's basically just a love story. Number 5 is What Makes You Feel Scared. That book is probably I, Coriander. I actually got so scared by that book that it's currently residing in the fridge. So the book that surprised me was Heavier Than Heaven by Charles Cross. This is a biography about Kurt Cobain and basically his life. You can see how much I've read it, it's starting to break, but I say this book surprised me because I always thought of Kurt Cobain as just someone who did heroin and was famous and didn't really care about anyone else but himself, but this book actually reveals a more emotional side to Kurt, and it's just a really lovely book to read. It's quite upsetting and quite depressing at points, but once you get past that, it's really good. Disappointed. I was really actually quite disappointed with Mockingjay, which is the third in the trilogy of The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Don't get me wrong, I love The Hunger Games, I love the way that Suzanne writes, I think that Katniss is a brilliant character, but considering that the whole series was leading up to this and Katniss starting a revolution, I don't really feel like much was explained in this book. It's sort of, as soon as something big was happening, they would just sort of brush past it really quickly, so you didn't really get the full sense of the rebellion, and so that's probably why it disappointed me. The book that made me feel distressed was probably Catching Fire. I reread it the other day, and it was just, I just couldn't get my head around it, and I was just thinking like, oh, is Peter gonna, even though I know what happens, I was just thinking, is Peter gonna die, what's gonna happen? And it was quite upsetting to read. Confused is probably this book, and this book. Okay, so the first one is Fallen, which is the first in the quadrilogy of the Fallen series by Lauren Kate. This book is absolutely wonderful. Again, there's an angel theme running here, okay. It's about this girl called Luce, and she falls in love with this guy called Daniel. However, she she exists every century as a different person, however Daniel stays the same. And it just really confused me as to who she was and what was happening when, because he seems to remember her from different times, but he doesn't know her now. This book is absolutely fantastic. This is Wither by Lauren DiStefano. This is the first, again, in I think a trilogy called The Chemical Garden, and it's set in the future in New York, and it's about this girl called Rhyme, and she gets sold as a wife to this man with 3 other girls. But the thing that confused me about this book was that, again, the same as Mockingjay, everything happens so fast. Like, each sentence is a couple of words, and each chapter is only like 5 pages, so you never really get the full story of what's happening. Number 10, all of the emotions. You probably know what I'm going to say. Just kill me now, please, because I love this book. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay.